Modern games costing upwards of $70 upon release has become the norm, and them being unfinished or just as bad has become part of that release as well. Fortunately, there are a lot of good games out there that come at a fair price and that I've had a ton of fun with, and I'll be sharing those today in list format. Here are my top 5 Steam games, $25 and under. Number 5, Supermarket Simulator. Supermarket Simulator is, well, exactly that. You play as a character who runs their own supermarket in the downtown area of some unnamed city, although based on the license plates I've seen, I think it's in Iowa. It starts out very simple with you ordering products, stocking shelves, and running the register. Eventually, you unlock new products, expand and re-merchandise your store however you want, and even hire employees. I know working at a grocery store, or anywhere for that matter, doesn't seem like a fun thing to do in a game, but give this a chance to prove you wrong. Having worked in a grocery store myself for a handful of years, and surrounded by real-life NPCs, I can confirm customers mumbling how they couldn't find something as they're walking away is completely lore accurate. It has those old PS2, PS1 style graphics and simple controls. There's something oddly satisfying about looking at a full shelf of product before you open in this game. Supermarket Simulator is only about $13 on Steam, and at the time of this video is only about 2 months old, so it's still in early access with the promises of plenty of new features soon. If you're looking for something chill to just get immersed in for a while, check out Supermarket Simulator. Number 4, Kingdoms and Castles. Kingdoms and Castles has probably one of my favorite art styles in recent memory. In this top-down city builder game, you're building a medieval era city where you take care of and protect its villagers. You start out with a small building for City Hall, build some houses and farms, and as your city grows, so does your population, allowing you to build more sophisticated structures, as well as an army to protect against Vikings and dragons that come in waves every few in-game days. I've seen some videos online where people have built incredibly complex walls to protect against those enemies, so there's really a lot of creativity to use here. And I know in one of the more recent updates, they've added civilizations and more political mechanics where you have communication with other cities. If you're more interested in the building aspect than fighting enemies, you can turn off enemies and just focus on building a relaxing medieval city builder. No matter how you decide to play Kingdoms and Castles, it's incredibly cozy, and I haven't met a single person who doesn't love this game. Not to mention, this game just got ported to Xbox, so if you're interested, check it out there instead. Number 3, Dredge. Dredge sort of has a special place in my heart. In this game, you play as the captain of a small tugboat where you're tasked with things like filling out your fish encyclopedia and paying off your debt to the local town mayor after he helps you repair your ship. Running errands for villagers and strangers that you meet, and upgrading your boat with things like better engines and nets. There's also a day and night cycle, which really changes the dynamic and almost the entire genre of the game. Because during the day, it's a very calm, almost lo-fi-like aesthetic, whereas at night it becomes awfully close to a horror game where you become the target of various sea creatures, and also your own character losing his sanity. I won't spoil any of it, but the story's pretty short, although there are some side things to do after you beat the main game. I don't come back to games very often after I beat the main story, but this is one I actually came back to for 100% completion. It's definitely something I recommend because it's really in a genre of its own, and I've never played anything quite like it. Also, I think this game has just been ported to about every console, so if you don't want it on Steam, it's pretty accessible everywhere else. Number 2, Diplomacy is not an option. Diplomacy is not an option is perfect if you're someone like me who loves top-down strategy or tower defense games. Essentially, you have a village that needs to be maintained by collecting resources like food and building houses, as well as build walls and prepare an army that defends against waves of enemies that come every few in-game days. I'll be honest, this game's pretty hard, but it makes for a great challenge and a fun way to get immersed while I try to come up with new strategies to stop those incoming waves of enemies. Where to place archers and catapults along my city walls, and choosing the formation of my foot soldiers as they prepare to defend are just some of the small details that make for a great strategy defense game. Not to mention, I'm a huge fan of these low polygon graphics, and just like this art style would suggest, the game doesn't take itself too serious with its hilarious physics and voices of its characters. They're still constantly updating this game and adding new units and things like that, so there's really always something to look forward to. For a fun, challenging tower defense resource management game, Diplomacy is not an option. Number 1, Dinkum. Finally, at number 1 is not just first on this list, but probably somewhere in my top 5 or 10 of all time. Dinkum is a farming, city building, sort of exploration simulator that released in early access going on 2 years ago now. The concept is incredibly simple. Your character is dropped off on an island where you essentially build a town from scratch, but that may be oversimplifying it. Over time, more villagers move to your island and offer services like a barbershop, restaurant, or furniture store. You can craft traps for the animals you find across your island, weapons to hunt them, and even vehicles as you progress and use them however you want on your island. Things like jet skis, ships, and even a helicopter. There really isn't any story or missions, but optional tasks to complete like hunting giant versions of the in-game animals for rewards, or just entering a bug catching competition. In my opinion, this is nice because as soon as you start your game, you can essentially play however you want and it's super non-linear. And if you're thinking this looks exactly like Animal Crossing, you'd be right. Although it's a simpler version of Animal Crossing in my opinion, and with less decorations and materials, making it feel a tad less overwhelming. And if you don't have a Nintendo Switch, it's a perfect replacement for Animal Crossing. Not to mention, it's about $40 cheaper, coming in at only 20 bucks. The charm of this game is unique. Being made by a single developer, native of Australia, you can feel its Australian theme through and through. I've put so much time into building my town exactly how I want, and exploring my friends and girlfriends' islands in multiplayer. This game is still in early access, and we've been getting huge updates like trucks, other vehicles, and buildings, like an airport, so I look forward to what future updates may bring. If you want a game to get totally lost in, are a fan of crafting, decorating, farming, or even just exploring, and one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in any game, definitely give Dinkum a try. Anyways, these were just 5 of my current favorite Steam games under $25. You really can't go wrong with any of these, so give 1, 2, or all of them a try, and I promise you'll enjoy yourself. Leave a comment down below if you think that there's anything that could have been on this list that maybe I haven't tried myself. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And let me know if you enjoyed this sort of video format and what other content you'd like to see here. Lastly, if you came over from my main channel, thank you so much. This is Nick. I'll see you guys in the next one.